Good evening. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Free. I'm Ryan. I'm the pastor and executive director here. This is Carrie. She is the associate executive director here. So good to be with you all tonight. And for those of you online, so good to be with you too, whether you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube. We're glad you're part of this community. I say it's so good because, well, I had to pull one of those last-minute cancellations last week because of this unexpected, kind of expected but unexpected surgery of, I'm lighter now because I don't have a gallbladder. I'm glad we canceled last week because I was just telling Rich, was asking, and I couldn't have been here last Saturday. I thought I could, but no, I could not have been here last Saturday. But I'm feeling much better. Thank you all for all your prayers and just the text messages and Facebook messages, emails, phone calls, everything. Very grateful for you in this community. It's really good to be back. So welcome. This is a community for addicts, loved ones of addicts, and spiritual refugees. And what we do here is break the silence of addiction while creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And there's always one thing we don't do. You can shout it out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We don't do shame, but Carrie's going to tell you all kinds of things that are coming up in the very near future, right?
Yeah, and I feel like there's kind of a lot. So if you miss anything that I say, jump on our website and you'll find all of these. But first, let's get started.
Or they can sign up for the newsletter.
I was going to get there.
I
Come
was
on
so
now.
excited
You know
about it.
how I am with the newsletter. Give me a minute to get there. But first, my friends, if you are new and this is your first time here, we would love to get to know you. Just outside of these doors after service, come find one of us or one of the volunteers, and we would love to get you guys connected with one of our welcome bags. Inside the welcome bags, who are you texting right now?
I'm texting Matthew in the back, but now that you called me out on him, I'm just...
Are you signing up for the newsletter?
I was just letting Matthew know the screen wasn't on up on the stage, just if you...
I'm going to call you out when you're distracting
Man, we
me
made
with
that
your
awkward.
technology. Yes, but it's because I'm looking over here at the screen, and there you are. But anyway, friends, hi. So go on to our newsletter. What Ryan was just doing was signing up for our newsletter. Inside those welcome bags, you'll find a card that has all of the information. You'll find out who our guest storytellers each week and all of the different information of all the different events. So get connected. It's every single week. So this coming 2 weeks, we have a lot of stuff happening. So first we have, if anyone was here this past week for Sober Open Mic, we had some comedians, and Joe Huseman, who was the guy who was kind of the MC, he is part of Second Chance Comedy. And here on February 5th, these are more professional-based comedies. This is a paid show where we're partnering with them, and then 20% of the proceeds is going to Sobriety House. But doors open, so this is on February 5th at 6:30, and doors open at 6 p.m. You can go on our website and you can either scan that QR code or on our website under events, you can find it. And no, that one's not going to be live streamed, correct?
I don't believe it is.
Okay, so sorry people online, but if you are in person, you can come and sign up. Seats are limited, so you do need to register for that one. And then on February 7th, we have something that's very exciting that's for our kids club. So she's not on staff here, but she is a therapist who rents the office at the very end. Her name is Nancy Martin. She does tremendous work in our community and helps tons of people. She is partnering with Hazelton Betty Ford as well as our kids department, and what she's going to be offering is she's calling it Breaking the Cycle Family Group, and then in between the services, between 6 and 7, food will be provided, resources will be provided, education, and it's a way to bring parents and kids together to experience healing. It's a completely free event. I don't believe you need to register. If you have any questions or you need to know more details, again, hop on our website, get on our newsletter. It's kind of hard to read on this flyer, but the flyer is also out on our little fireplace TVs. But you can email at Nancy Martin, or you can actually get her and call and text her, but she'll answer any questions. But if you have kids or if you know people who have kids, spread the word. It's a great free resource for you and your children. Also, friends, an exciting football game's happening.
Super Bowl. Oh, I'm surprised. You know what the Super Bowl is?
I do.
Do you know who's going to the Super Bowl?
No.
The Denver Broncos are going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
I think we find out tomorrow,
Come on
right?
now. Yeah, we'll find out tomorrow.
My son's a Seahawks fan, so I want to hope it's the Seahawks. Sorry,
That's
y'all.
a lie. I'm lying.
But we'll find out tomorrow.
Regardless of who's there.
Who's playing, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
So on Sunday, the 8th, we're going to have a Super Bowl party here. It's free to attend.
Yep.
Doors will open at 3:30. The cafe will be open until halftime. So you can come in here. There's going to be some food. There's going to be some snacks.
Yep. We're partnering with TPAS on this one. I always forget their acronym, but it is Treatment Professionals in Alumni Services. That's who we're partnering with, TPAS.
Yes. And I think that's all I got for you. So come and watch a sporting event.
It's football. Yes, it's football.
Thanks.
Super Bowl is football. Thank you, Carrie. All right, y'all, the way we get started here on a Saturday night is with celebrations. We start with the good. We lift up the good. Yeah, maybe you're here tonight or you're watching online tonight and you've got some good to lift up. Maybe it's, I don't know, a sobriety anniversary, a birthday, the new thing happening in your life, whatever it is. It's not too big or too small. We celebrate it all. And, man, this is such a profound part of our time together that we get to root for each other. God joins with us in these celebrations. And I'm so glad we do this. So we take 3 minutes for it. If you're in-house, just raise up your hand. Jerome will get you a mic on this side. Teresa will get you a mic on this side. For those of you online, just drop your celebrations in the Facebook comments or the YouTube comments. We'll join with you there. Let's take 3 minutes, shall we?
Hi, I'm Sarah. I just want to celebrate. I just got finished holding a booth at a wellness trade show with my friend Jim over here, and it was just so much fun. So I'm really feeling grateful. Thanks.
Way to go, Sarah. We'll celebrate that. And Jim.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey, and our daughter couldn't be here tonight, but she celebrated 4 years of sobriety on the 21st of this month.
All right, way to go for her. Congratulations.
I'm Amanda, and I have a job next year. I was not sure if they were going to renew my contract, so they did.
All right, we'll celebrate that. Yeah, congratulations.
I don't know if I celebrated with you guys. My name is Darren, and I got 12 years of recovery this month. So
Way to go, D. Happy 12 years, my friend.
My name's David, and I celebrated 30 days on Wednesday.
Way to go, David. So glad you're here, brother. Yeah, we're going to get you a coin. It's in the office. It's in my office. I forgot to bring them out.
Hi, my name's Simone. I just want to celebrate this space and all the events that happen here. There was a group of us that did the TRE with Lex last weekend, and it was incredible, like life-changing, incredible. So thank you for this space.
Yeah. And thank you, Lex, for leading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
Let's celebrate it. Thank you, Simone. Good stuff.
I'm Kathy, and I think we're all grateful that Ryan came through his surgery in excellent condition, and we're glad to see him back.
Thank you. I am too. I'll celebrate that with you. Thank you, Kathy.
My name's Darren. I quit smoking December 15th and just picked up a guitar trying to learn how to play it.
All right, Darren. Giving up old things, picking up new things. That's cool, man. Anyone else? We got time for one more. Going once, twice. Okay, thank you, Jerome and Teresa, for passing around some mics. Teresa, do you want to give that mic to my wife, Tammy? Thank you all. By the way, the best mic passers we've had all night, so thank you for that. Really meant a lot to us. Oh,
I
Bricks
got a
is coming
buddy.
up here too. Bricks, you know what's up with the Broncos game tomorrow, don't you? Go Bo Nix, except Bo Nixon won't be
He was
there.
filling me in on the Seahawks and how we downgraded, he says, because we lost Nick. So he's giving me the skinny.
Downgrade a little bit. But you never know. All right, shall we join our online people?
Mark says, celebrating that this is my last Saturday that I can't make it to free. But starting next week and beyond, my boss has given me every Saturday off through 2026 so I can get back with my free fam. Love y'all.
All right, Mark, we look forward to having you, buddy. Yeah. Chance on the tech team, who's out tonight, I believe. Celebrating some, of course he is, celebrating some much-needed time away with the family and watching from 35,000 feet right now, but had to tune in to see Weston
Yay, Weston.
take the stage. Weston's our guest storyteller tonight, yeah. Also on the tech team. Good to hear from you, Chance. Miss you, buddy.
And Renee says, celebrating 173 clean and good results came back from my biopsy. So
All
good.
right, happy 173. Way to go, Renee. Okay, thank you, Tammy and Bricks. Anything else you need to add in, Bricks? Not right now? Okay. We'll do it next time. All right, y'all, we are in the middle of this series called The Hero's Journey. And tonight, well, let's talk about, I don't know, maybe the power of not giving up too quickly. Here's the video.
Every hero's journey begins with a truth you can no longer ignore. A quiet whisper that grows into a roar. You feel the pull to leave the old life behind, to step away from the familiar and comfortable. It's that moment you decide to step into the unknown. You take a breath, and you trust that something bigger, something more powerful, will carry you forward. This isn't just about self-help or small changes. This is about transformation. This is about death and rebirth. It's the journey of letting go of who you were, so you can become who you were always meant to be. This is the hero's journey.
So one day, a couple of weeks ago, while we were in the country of El Salvador, we were set to go visit a coffee farm up in the mountains. We had been in contact with Jaime over the past couple of months through email and WhatsApp. And Jaime is the owner and runs this farm. In fact, it's been in his family now for 4 generations. Tammy is considering partnering with Jaime to source his beans so that we can all drink El Salvadoran coffee, good El Salvadoran coffee. So the night before we were supposed to go to his farm up in the mountains, I reached out to him on WhatsApp and I said, Jaime, if it works for you, we can meet you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Does it work? And he writes back immediately and he says, yes, that will work, but Ryan, I have to ask you a question before I send you the pinned location. He says, do you have a 4-wheel drive vehicle? And I thought that was an interesting question, but I said, actually, we do. We have a 4-wheel drive SUV because we have the whole family, 4 kids, so we're good to go. He writes back and says, perfect, here's the location. I look up the pin location on the maps, and perfect, it was less than an hour from where we were staying up in the mountains. So we get in the car the next morning, 8 a.m., we take off. We arrive to that pin location right about 8:45 a.m., but y'all listen, it was not a coffee farm. It was the turnoff road to the coffee farm. Now, Jaime was there waiting for us in his vehicle, 4-wheel drive vehicle. He stayed in his car, and he was really excited when we got there. He was waving to us, greeting us, and he motioned for us to follow
Every hero's journey
me.
begins with
It was a hero's journey. So we followed Jaime, and y'all, it started off as all kinds of fun. Because almost right away, I had to flip that bad boy into 4-wheel drive. The kids were loving it. They were bouncing around. Suitcases were bouncing around. And then at some point, pretty quickly in the journey, well, it was no longer fun. Like the road, y'all, was no longer a road. We were in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the jungle, and we couldn't see much of what was ahead of us. And we were like dodging these big boulders and dodging these craters. And like every 30 seconds, our car would just go and totally bottom out. Then it'd happen again, totally bottom out. Little side note, last week I got the invoice from the car rental company. I knew we had done some damage, but I didn't know we did that much damage. The kids, by this point, they were like absolutely silent because there was some fear and things were a little tense. Like at one point I said, I don't know that we can make it from here to there 10 feet ahead of us. I don't know that our car can do that. 30 minutes into the journey, I'd finally had enough, so I put the car in park and I threw the hazards on and I got out of the car and I put my hands in the air like this. Jaime gets out of his car. We're talking Spanglish to one another. And I said, Jaime, how much further is it? You didn't tell us it would be this hard. You didn't tell us about this part of the journey. How much further? And he just keeps pointing. He just keeps pointing, and he says, 5 minutos más, 5 minutos más, 5 minutos más, 5 more minutes. And I thought we were lost. In fact, I was thinking the worst. I was like, oh man, what did I get my family into? We don't really know this guy. I had known him through WhatsApp and email, and that's it. We don't really know him, and we're in the middle of this jungle, and our cell phones don't work. What's going to happen? And about 5 minutes later, we arrived to this beautiful coffee farm up in the mountains. Yeah, see those red things? Tammy could tell you all about them. Those are coffee cherries, because you do know the coffee bean is inside the coffee cherry. And it's a sweet outer layer. Jaime was so excited to give us the full tour of his farm. There's Jaime on the left of your screen. Yeah, he was so excited to give us the full tour. This guy, man, I wish you could meet him because he is so much like kindness and passion just flow out of him. And he's not just passionate about coffee, he's passionate about all of life. Like he loves AC/DC, loves Metallica. And he's taking us through these acres of farm trees, and we're all picking the coffee cherries and eating the coffee cherries to get to the bean, and he's letting us just roam around, and he's telling us so much about it. And my kids loved him because he's got the most boisterous laugh you've ever heard. Like everything with Jaime has laughter to it. In fact, when we finally got to the farm and I get out of the car, he comes up to me, he says, and I think he was laughing with me, not at me. Maybe he was laughing at me. He says, Ryan, are you okay? And he's speaking in Spanglish. Are you okay? I said, well, I'm here. He says, Ryan, you should have seen yourself. Ryan, you were like, no más, alto, alto. It's funny now. Now we can laugh about it. It wasn't funny at the time. The truth is, I'm so glad we didn't give up on the journey up. The truth is, I'm really glad we had Jaime as a guide up. 4 generations. He knew this land inside and out. He knew the way, and we had to trust Jaime. And y'all, the truth is, here's what I know. Your journey often begins with God asking you to trust someone who knows the way. You know, it's interesting. There's a fascinating story in the Old Testament book, or the Hebrew Bible book. It's called 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel tells the story of a man named Saul. And there was nothing really special about Saul. He was just like an average Joe from the smallest tribe in Israel, and his family was the smallest family in the smallest tribe, just an average Joe. And what's so fascinating about Saul's story, why I want to share it with you, is his story starts off well, because he is trusting others who knew the way. But I have to tell you all, his story doesn't end well. At some point, he stops trusting. Here's the backstory to Saul. The backstory is, well, Saul's dad owned some donkeys, and those donkeys got lost. They wandered off. He couldn't find them. So Saul's dad comes to a servant of his and his son Saul and says, listen, I want you boys to go on a journey and find these donkeys for me and bring the donkeys back. And the two boys, Saul and the servant, they said, of course we can do that. And they knew it would be a little dicey. Because you have to understand, in that time, Saul's people were in this major, long, drawn-out battle with these people called the Philistines. So to just go out and travel, it was like violence in the streets. It was a dicey journey. And here they are, they're traveling for 3 straight days from foreign land to foreign land, and nothing. They cannot find these donkeys anywhere. And by this time, Saul, he's like, he's done. I mean, he's completely had it. Here's what he says. He's ready to turn back. As Saul said to the servant who was with him, come, let's go back, or my father will stop thinking about the donkeys and start worrying about us. I mean, this is the moment where he's like getting out of the car and putting the hazards on and throwing his arms up, and he says, how much further is it? No one told me the journey was going to be this hard. No one told me it would be like this and we'd come up empty, and this is stupid, and I don't even know where we are in Cinco Minutos. Because the servant replied, look, in this town there's a man of God. Let's go there now. Perhaps he will tell us which way to go. And Saul doesn't argue. He doesn't demand proof. He simply listens. And y'all, sometimes when you feel lost, the most spiritual thing you can do is trust the wisdom of someone who knows the way better than you. So Saul and the servant, they keep going, and they find this man of God. His name is Samuel. And Samuel, you can think of it, he's like the spiritual guru of the land. People trust Samuel. And so they find Samuel, Saul and the servant, they find Samuel, and he's this man of God, and Samuel, he's one that pays close attention to God. He's always paying attention. In fact, the day before this, God says to Samuel, Samuel, listen, dude, I am sending you someone tomorrow. His name is Saul, and listen, when you meet Saul, I want you to know I've heard the cries of the people. Like they are being crushed by the Philistines, and I want you to know when Saul comes to you, you are needing to anoint him as the ruler over all of Israel. He's going to be the new leader. And listen, Saul is the one who is going to free them from the Philistines. So Saul and Samuel finally meet. This spiritual guru says to Saul, he says, dude, I'm so glad you're here. And I know, Saul, you're worried about the donkeys, and don't worry, the donkeys have been found. We found them. We're sending them back to Pops, and don't worry about it. But Saul, here's the thing. I want you to stay tonight and have dinner with me. And then after we have dinner together, I've got a message for you. So they have dinner together, and then Samuel, the spiritual guru, says to this nobody Saul, he says to him, dude, you are like the hope of all of Israel. You are going to lead the people. You're going to save them from the Philistines. And Saul's a nobody from the smallest tribe. He's used to playing small. So he responds to Samuel, I'm a Benjamite from the smallest Israelite tribe, and my family is the littlest of the families in the tribe of Benjamin. Why would you say something like that to me? And even in the midst of his fear, his unknowing, his questioning of his worth, he makes the decision to trust Samuel. And are you able to trust someone who sees things in you that you cannot yet see? So Samuel, he takes his flask, and it's got olive oil in it, and he pours it over Samuel. It's a sign of an anointing. And he says, Samuel, you're going to be Saul, you're going to be the king, and I want you to go back home now. And in a few days more, I'm going to come to your hometown, and we're going to get all the people together, and we're going to make this thing public. We're going to do a public anointing. And so Saul travels back home, and while he's traveling back home, the text tells us that God gives him a new heart. A new thing is happening inside of Saul. And you know Saul had to be thinking, man, I'm so glad I trusted that servant. I'm so glad that he spoke this wisdom and I trusted him to bring us to Samuel. And I'm so glad I met Samuel and he gave me this word that, man, I'm going to be a leader. And I don't know exactly what to do with that, but I'm so glad I decided to listen and trust. And then Saul gets home and his family is like, dude, where have you been? He says, well, we were out looking for the donkeys, just like you said, and we couldn't find them. But y'all do know Samuel, the spiritual guru. We met him, and he stayed absolutely silent about the message that was given to him. Stayed absolutely silent about the word that was spoken over him. And then a few days more, Samuel, just like he said, he came to Saul's hometown because they're going to make this thing public. And Samuel stands before the whole tribe of people and he says, y'all, I want to let you know God has provided for you a great leader. This leader is going to free you from the Philistines. He's going to lead you away from them and you're going to have victory. And I want y'all to meet one of your own, Saul. Saul. Saul, where are you at, dude? Saul. Check it out. But when they looked for him, he had disappeared. So they asked the Lord, where is he? And the Lord replied, he is hiding among the baggage. Hiding among the baggage? I mean, you can almost hear Samuel whisper under his breath, dude, cinco más minutos. Dude, you were almost there and you turned back. And this started a downward spiral for Saul. He turned back to his self-will. In fact, the way his story ends doesn't end well. He was in battle with the Philistines and things got hard for him and he made the decision to take his own life. And I point that out to say, some of you are in a battle and it's hard, and you don't know which way to go. And if you turn back to self-will, I hate to tell you, your story might not end well. And the real tragedy of Saul isn't that he doubted, it's that he stopped trusting the wisdom that got him that far. And I wonder how many of you are 5 minutes away from something so beautiful that God wants to show you, but you're feeling ready to turn around. Because, man, the road, it gets hard. And then you start to feel lost. And maybe you even have this extra component that's added in that maybe there was a time in your life when you actually felt like you had it. You felt good about things. You had peace. You were rocking your recovery. You were living into the person you believed God created you to be. And you would even tell people that God did a work in me. Just like Saul, God changed my heart. And somewhere along the way, you started buying back into your own BS. Somewhere along the way, you started hiding among the baggage. And let me ask you, who are those guides in your life? Who are the ones that just kept pointing? Who are the ones that were saying to you, Cinco Minutos Más? Cinco Minutos Más. Don't give up yet. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can keep going or you can turn back. Do you know when Tony Fish Sticks, when he said to me 14 years ago, when he said, Ryan, dude, if you disconnect now, he said, I've seen it too many times in my experience. If you disconnect now, man, this thing might come up and bite you in the ass. This disease, it wants your life, man. This disease, it's trying to take you down. I mean, cinco minutos más. Don't turn around yet. Don't give up yet. Oh, but in my wisdom, I said to Tony, no, dude, you don't understand. Man, God has changed my heart. It's been 3 months. God changed my heart. I don't even crave a drink anymore. And I was just like Saul. And how did it flip so quickly? I mean, how did I change so quickly? Because in no time at all, I had a drink in my hand and I was hiding among the baggage. Hiding among the baggage of my fear, my shame, the control, hiding among the baggage of my past. Do you know when I was 5 years sober and I went to my sponsor, Sergeant Major, who is, by the way, 49 years in active recovery. If he doesn't pick up a drink, next month he's going to have 50 years. We'll clap for him next month. And I went to Sergeant Major and I said, man, I 5 years sober, I have so much pain in here. I have so much pain in here over this one event, this one person, and this pain, sometimes it creeps up in anger and it creeps up in hate, and I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know the way out of it. And I went to him as the Samuel in my life, the spiritual guru for a solution. And do you know what he tells me? He tells me something so stupid. He tells me, some of y'all know this story. He says, Ryan, you're going to have to pray for him. No, man, that's stupid. That'll never work. How's that going to fix the pain in here? How's that going to resolve anything? And he says, no, open the book to page 552. And there's a prayer in there. And he says, I suggest you pray this prayer till something shifts. And this prayer is you're praying for them all the things you want for yourself. And I thought, this is stupid. It'll never work. I was stepping out of the vehicle before the journey even started saying, how much further? This is stupid. I don't even know where I am. And Cinco Minutos Más. You do it because at some point it will change your mindset. It might even transform your heart. And so I did it. And I can't explain to you how that hate and anger and that pain, it started to dissipate. It didn't happen overnight. I can't explain to you the whys and hows of why I could sleep again, and I can't explain to you why is it so hard to trust the wisdom of others who have been there. And I wish I could tell you I have it all figured out because I'm 13 years sober now, but the truth is I do not have this stuff figured out. I mean, it creeps up all the time. Do you know that same sponsor, Sergeant Major, who's still my sponsor, he did another really dumb thing just last week, the day before my surgery. And he knew I was going into surgery on Thursday because he was the one who took me to the hospital at 6:30 a.m. The day before my surgery, he sends me a text message on Wednesday afternoon. And man, I can hear his voice in this text. Preacher, here's a meditation. I suggest you listen to this meditation before you go into surgery. I said, fine, I'm on bite, and I click on the meditation. Oh, I was angry. This meditation was 18 minutes long. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, dude, you know I'm afraid. You know that this surgery kind of scares me because I do not like needles. They scare me, except tattoo needles. They don't scare me. I don't like needles. I don't like anesthesia. The doctor told me all the things I can't do afterwards. You know I'm a little afraid, and you think I'm just going to pull 18 minutes out of the air to do a meditation? This is stupid. It'll never work. And by the way, let me make a suggestion to you. I didn't do that. I've seen enough. I've been there enough times. So I did the meditation. And I can't explain to you exactly how and why that brought me peace in the exact way I needed it in that moment. You see, my brothers and sisters, don't let fear and ego keep you from the most beautiful things that God has for you. And those guides in your life, they might know things that you don't know. They might see things that you haven't yet seen. They might have gone places that you haven't yet been in. Cinco Minutos Más. Don't give up yet. And I'll close with this. You know, one of the benefits of recovering from surgery is we have a lot of free time, which means you can watch a lot of movies. So on Thursday, my surgery was Thursday morning. On Thursday night, gathered together as a family in our living room, and we watched this movie called Soul on Fire. It's on Netflix. The Soul on Fire tells a story of John O'Leary. John O'Leary is a St. Louis native. I, too, am a St. Louis native. It tells his story starting as a 9-year-old boy when he was literally playing with fire and things took a bad turn. There was an explosion in the family garage, and he suffered greatly. He was rushed to the hospital, and when he got there, the doctors told his family that he had a less than 1% chance of surviving. One of the guides in his life from this time forward, and he did survive, sorry to be the spoiler. He's now a motivational speaker. He inspires millions of people around the world. One of the guides in his life was the legendary baseball Hall of Fame announcer, Jack Buck. I grew up listening to Jack Buck. Jack Buck heard about what happened to this little 9-year-old boy, and he started showing up at the hospital. He started walking with him throughout his life. He started mentoring him and doing life with him. And there's this one scene at the beginning of the movie when this little 9-year-old boy is laying in the hospital bed all wrapped up, and his body is so badly burned, and he's looking up at his father, and he says, "Why me? Why me?" And then at the end of the movie, this young boy, he's now graduating college, and guess who's at his college graduation? It's Jack Buck, his childhood hero. And he says to him, he says, "Mr. Buck, everything that you did, all the hospital visits, the autographed balls, the day at the ballpark, why me? Why me?" You see, it is a guarantee in your life that at some point, even if you're in active recovery, your journey will get hard. The road will be difficult. At times in your life, it'll feel like the road even stops becoming a road. It's not a road anymore. You're in the middle of nowhere, and you're feeling totally lost. And you will be tempted to step out of the car, put the hazards on first, and then put your arms in the air and say, "How much further? God, you didn't tell me it was going to be this hard. You didn't tell me we would hit this part of the journey. How much further?" And you might be tempted to turn and do things your own way, turn back to self-will. You might be tempted, and I would encourage you to do it. Cry out to God, "Why me? Why me? Why are these things happening to me?" By the way, I do this all the time with very simple events in my life. I don't know why. It's kind of one of my defaults. Even last Thursday when I came out of surgery, do you know that was a moment because you all know I had to throw myself a big pity party. Oh, my whole insides are hurting, and I wanted to take a nap, and I can't even sleep on my side because it hurts so bad. And how come Tammy gets to sleep on her side, but I can't sleep on my side? And by the way, God, let me tell you all the things I can't do in the next 4 weeks, and I bet my friends can do all these things. And why me? Why me? Why me? And then on that night, we watched this movie. And it shifts. It had a way of transforming. Yeah, why me, God? Why me? And I have a family here, a beautiful family, supportive, that I get to watch this movie with in the living room. Man, I have friends in a community. Man, I have all these text messages and Facebook messages and phone calls from some people I don't even know wishing me well. All the prayers. Homemade spaghetti dropped off on the doorstep with a note just saying, "One less thing for you and Tammy to worry about, feed the kids." The thing I was really worried about was getting chairs set up, because y'all know I love to set up the chairs in here, and they got to be perfect, but doctor says I can't lift anything. A couple days ago, this dude over here, David, who's celebrating 30 days sober, he comes up to me, "Hey dude, anything you need around here?" And I was like, whoa, yes, actually, the chairs got to get set up. And it's tonight, sober open mic night, last Thursday. And actually on Saturday, and this dude comes and sets up these perfectly curved chairs for you. Why me, God? Why me? Do you see at some point in the journey, you will have to make that transition, the why me, towards all the good in your life. And who are the ones, the guides that God might be asking you to trust? That they might see things in you that you can't yet see. They've gone places that you haven't yet been. And are you willing to listen even with all your questions and doubts and fears? Cinco Minutos Más. Because you might be amazed at what God has for you on the other side. So let's take a moment and reflect. Who are those people for you? Who are the guides? Who are the ones that kept pointing the way? Cinco Minutos Más. This song, I invite you to reflect. This song is called Smile So Much by Jelly Roll. Take a moment. That's a good one, isn't it? Now, help me settle this debate because before the service, Carrie told me that is a sad song, and I'm like, maybe I'm off on just my emotions. That is not a sad song for me. That's like you've cried so many tears, especially if you're in recovery, if you're a loved one. You know what this is about, and your smiles, your laughter, your joy, it means so much more. Is it true, or is it sad? See, Carrie, it's not a sad song. They all agreed with me. I shouldn't have called you out like that. Let's move on to our guest storyteller, because y'all do know every Saturday night we have a guest storyteller in the house to come join us inside the living room to share with us some of their story tonight. Weston Schroeder is going to join. Weston is on the tech team. He's here almost every Saturday night. Sober open mic nights. He's like the stage guy up here. That's what he's known as. I've known Weston. He's 24 years old now. I've known him since he was 12 years old. Yeah, his family is near and dear to me. We've journeyed with his whole family. So, you know, because he was part of the church where I used to serve, St. Luke's, and, you know, when people of your past, when they walk into this community, you're always like, what's happening here? You always want to ask the question, what happened to you? Well, Weston's going to share that story. Weston Schroeder, there you are. Come on up, brother. Give it up for Weston Schroeder. My dude.
Hello.
Hi, Weston. I was part of, so in the United Methodist Church, and many traditions, they have this thing called confirmation. I was part of your confirmation journey way back in the day, dude, before your voice even changed, before you had hair under your arms.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, dude, that was awkward. I want you to tell the story, and I think it's such an important story here because we don't hear enough of it, but we hear enough of it out there. You were a marijuana addict.
Yes.
It was like totally taking over your life. And I know sometimes, I think we do a decent job in this community, but sometimes you say that to people and you're like, no, dude, it's marijuana. It didn't take over your life. You say it differently. Tell us the story, what that addiction looked like.
Yeah. Intro to marijuana. Like, I didn't smoke until I was 17. I didn't take edibles until I was 17. But in, like, middle school, I was like, oh, it's not that bad of a thing. And it's not that I defended it. I just was like, it's a thing. And then as I got into late high school, into college, just very present. It got to a point, especially in fall of 2019, winter 2019, into 2020, where I like passed out from smoking weed because I felt sick, like physically sick.
Yep. And
I smoked and I passed out. And it was just like, it was really weird, and it was a shock, and got a lot of this is a good reflecting point to stop. Don't keep doing it.
Yeah.
And then
I kept help doing people understand too. So it started as a little thing, and y'all know this is how any drug addiction, booze works. It starts as this little thing. It's fun for a while, but then it became not just daily use for you. It wasn't just like a little toke here and there to go to bed. It was like all day throughout the day. It's how you function.
It became coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Especially during 2020. And I don't know, I was thinking about it today, like it was all day. It was hard to be alone and smoke marijuana and feel nothing but think and feel what you feel, but I started getting comfortable. I started being an active user in public, being high, going to class high, going to work at certain times high, and then I would come home, smoke because I had a long day, and so it was just a continuous cycle of not being present with myself or my friends, even though all of my friends also smoked weed, so it was like a shared experience.
Yeah.
But I was very isolated for a long time.
Yeah. And family started to notice.
Yeah.
Friends started to notice. What happened on June 17th? So what happened on June 16th of 2025?
June 16th, I had come home from a music festival, and that was its own experience. I felt sick, and I had a conversation with one of my family members about some of the choices that I had made on that trip. Yeah. And for lack of better terms, it was an ultimatum. I'm going to tell the family, or you're going to tell the family about what went on. And I had already smoked since I had gotten home at that point, and I just felt physically sick. And I know you and I kind of talked about it, and you talked about it in your service tonight of like self-will.
Yeah.
It was a strange experience on Tuesday, June 17th, of I'm going to tell my family about what happened. I feel sick, so I'm not going to smoke because it's going to hurt my lungs and hurt my throat, and I'm done with this. And a part of the experience of trying to quit for 5 years was every time I tried to quit, I experienced hell when I went to sleep. Because when you have withdrawals from marijuana, your dreams are just so visceral. I didn't feel that in June, and it just felt natural. It felt, and being here, like, it just felt godly. I don't know. It just did, and it wasn't as hard to quit marijuana.
Well, so hold on, I want to come back to that.
I'm sorry.
I want to come back to it because I love when some of you know this. I can't tell you the number of people who walk in here and they can't put words to it. I think that's actually a beautiful thing. It's like it's something you feel that you can't always describe.
Yeah.
So I want to come back to what you feel when you say, I don't know, it's just like godly in here. I want to come back to that. But what was it like when your sister said to you, hey, dude, either you tell him or I'm going to tell him? Did it feel like your cover was blown, or was it a relief? I mean, what'd that feel like?
Both. It felt like more of a relief, an hour or 2 or 6 hours after that conversation. But you feel exposed. You feel, don't tell my loved ones that I make shitty choices. Because where she was coming from was, I want to experience life with you, Weston. And the choices you're making are going down a road in which you won't be able to go on those experiences. We won't be able to share space together.
Hold the mic up. Just
okay, a little more. And it was a relief of, wow, I have a really strong support system.
Yeah.
And like, you kind of mentioned it in your service or your message, but my family, my support network, they have my best interests in mind, and we can have hard conversations. And in those hard conversations, they can feel really shitty because I feel exposed. But just hold on. I held on, and I trusted that they had a better life for me in their mind, and I just had to hold on and listen and not try and solve it.
So it was your friend Max. I too know Max. I've known Max since he was a little tyke. But your friend Max said, hey, you should go to free.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? What was it like coming in here for the first time?
I sat over there.
Yeah.
And I came to the 5 p.m. service, and I don't remember what you talked about. It was in November of 2024.
I'm sure it was profound.
It was amazing.
Very profound.
And it was at the very beginning when we need tech volunteers.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to go talk to them. And on one end of my brain, it was, I want to like learn tech skills, music business skills. So go do that, go volunteer. These are your selfish reasons to continue being here. And maybe I'll get to hang out with Ryan because I know him and be in this space and be in this community. And then at some point in early 2025, it was, I get to be in this community and share space. And as a byproduct, I get to learn these soft tech skills. And I don't know how many, I had a goal of coming here for 30 weekends last year. I feel like I was like over 40 weekends.
Yeah, you surpassed that.
I loved being here. I love being here. And it's just, I feel safe here.
So let's explore that a little bit. What is it when you say, I love being here? You describe a feeling, but what is it you feel when you're in this community of people?
I don't feel judged. I don't feel shame. And I feel that it's just, I don't have to know what you all have gone through. You don't have to know what I've gone through. I will never understand what anybody here has gone through. And that doesn't, for lack of better terms, that doesn't matter because we get to be here together. And I've just met and befriended so many random people that I never would have otherwise. And the hugs that I get with people here are insane. They're like the best hugs that I get anywhere, like out of even my friends. And these are complete strangers that I don't know anything about. And I've gotten to know more about the people here.
Yeah. What other ways are you connecting to stay on a sober path?
I'm doing a lot of breath work. And I started doing that in the mornings.
Yep.
And Carrie and I have talked about it, but breath work is a way to be sober and get high. It just feels so good. And I've just I kind of shelf off, if I wake up at 7:40 or if I wake up at 8:30, I'm going to do my breath work before I start the day. And that makes me feel alive. Community service, obviously, I help with the tech team. I click a handful of buttons, but I've just loved community service, being here, doing a couple random things at my work. You connect with people. You don't have to worry about your own BS because you're just doing a task that makes other people's lives instrumentally better, and you will never really see it on their faces. You'll never hear their stories because you're just doing a thing. You're making food bags.
Yeah.
And community service has been unreal in the past year, and I love it.
What's been the hardest part? So since June 17th of 2025, what's been the hardest part?
Really recognizing your own bullshit, and I have to handle what I want out of my life. And there's no excuses. I think the hardest part has been numbing myself, whether that's ruminating in my home, and ruminating being just literally staring at a wall and I need to get out of bed or I need to go do something. It's weird to talk about, but succumbing to lust, pornography is a real thing, especially with phones. And it's so accessible in my generation. We can have a whole other conversation about that another time, but that numbingness is so real. And it's a different numbing than marijuana, but at least it's not marijuana anymore. I think it's just those two that have been really hard. And trying to connect with people. You've mentioned we've known each other for 12 years. I went to this church the other week. It was prayer week. It was great. I realized that I've been disconnecting from God for the past 12 years.
Yeah.
And so whatever that looks like, embellish, whatever. Having this conversation, what's the hardest part? It's trying to connect with God.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that one, man. What do you say to someone or to a culture that says, "Come on, Weston, it was marijuana. Come on, man, I battled booze, or I battled cocaine, or I battled whatever it was. Yours is marijuana." What do you say to that person? Because I think there's sometimes what I've noticed is this extra layer of shame of saying, "Man, it's marijuana. Why can't I beat it? Why is this thing taking life from me and I can't beat it? I can't stop." What hope do you give to them?
It's kind of a two-part question that you just asked.
Yeah.
The first part of it's just marijuana, just get over it, just stop it, or it's not that bad. It is bad, and it is very accessible. And it's very social. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just there's so much weed everywhere, and there's so much booze everywhere, but getting high in high school, going into college, it's just so present. And what I have to say to that is I never thought you could be addicted to it. And over 7 to 8 years, it literally took my life, and I couldn't be sober. I couldn't walk around normally. The second part of your question of, I'm not forgetting, but the answer to it. I'm nervous.
You're good, dude.
We're all dead anyways, and that's what I believe. And we get to make choices that make us feel alive or to numb ourselves to our lives. And do whatever your breath work is. For me, we didn't get too much into the mentor side of this, but being in musical theater, being a stagehand, that makes me feel so alive and of service and of value. that I don't need marijuana anymore. I hate numbing my life, and I still do it, but I don't do it to marijuana.
It's like you're 24 years old and no longer hiding among the baggage.
Yeah, man.
You get to be present to your life and enjoy it. Did you want to say a word about the mentors?
A little bit. Obviously, you've been in my life for half of my life. My family and one of my theater directors. And this is a small piece. Right after you confirmed me, my best friend died. And that was just a weird space to be in when you're 12 years old. But my theater teacher, then director, she just kept pushing me into this thing. And so I did a musical. And when the year before I graduated college, we talked about being in the company, and now I'm the treasurer of this company. And it's just been such a small, subtle piece of the last 12 years of my life where I've now found passion and forward momentum in something that just happened because my theater director loved me and wanted me to do something to get my mind out of where I was.
That's beautiful, man. Dude, I'm glad you're part of this community and all the ways you have served this community and keep serving this community. And I know Matthew and Chance are grateful for you back in the tech team. So thanks for being part of this community. You're a good presence in this community. Weston Schroeder, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it.
Ryan.
Thanks, man. I would have given a better, more hug like this, but I'm still, stitches and everything. So my hugs will get better again soon, Weston. All right, y'all. Well, the way we close down here on Saturday night is very similar to how we begin. We begin with celebrations, but we close with what we call heartaches, the burdens that you might be carrying, the burdens of carrying this week, and maybe you've been trying to do it in isolation, do it alone, and you find out you don't have to do it that way anymore. You can have a whole community of people at your side. You don't have to isolate. We have a God who hears the cries of the people. So we take 3 minutes for this. Again, if you're online, drop your heartaches in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. We'll join with you there. If you need some prayer, some lifting up, some encouragement, that's what this time is for. Jerome has a mic on this side. Teresa has one on this side. This 3 minutes is yours.
I'm Kathy. I would like to ask for prayers for Minneapolis, St. Paul, and for our country.
Yeah, thank you for that, Kathy. We're seeing some suffering and real heartache, lifting them up tonight.
My name is Melissa. I'd just like to add prayers for Renee Good and Alex Preddy and their families.
Yep. Lifting both of them up and that whole community and all who love them.
My name's Sarah, and my uncle passed away yesterday, so just sending prayers to my extended family and especially my aunt who's grieving the loss of him. Thank you.
Yeah, prayers for you and your aunt. Glad you're here.
My name's Will. My sister's partner's been in the hospital with liver cirrhosis for the past couple weeks, and so prayers for his recovery, and then also to use this as an opportunity to combat his disease.
Yeah. Prayers for him, Will, and the family. Glad you're here, dude.
My name's Marlette, and I'm thankful for this community. I love your family. Thank you, Ryan, for taking care of my baby up there tonight. I want to, I need prayers for one of my best friends since 5th grade. She called me last night, and her husband just broke his hip because he fell because he was drunk, and she doesn't know what to do, and she's one of the strongest people I know, and I don't know exactly how to help her, but just need her prayers.
Yeah. prayers for them. And Marla, I didn't know you. I can't see in the back, so it's so good to see you. Glad you're here. And we love your baby. Anyone else?
Me again. This one's local. I'd like prayers for another mom who's in a parent group with my family whose son is struggling terribly, and she's a mom who lost her husband in an accident 2 years ago, so she's on her own. Her name is Lisa, so prayers for her, please.
All right, lifting them up. Thank you for that. Is Tammy in the back? Do I see Tammy? Is that, I see a white shirt. Is that my wife? Sometimes I can't recognize my own wife. If you don't want to come up, I'll bring someone else up. Austin would love to join me up here tonight. Austin, you want to join me up here? Or Tammy, are you coming? Austin, come on up here, dude, because it's been so long since we've had you up here.
Yeah, it has been a while.
It's good to see you, brother.
You too, man.
Let me turn this on for. Oh, it's on.
Is it on?
You want to join with our online people?
I got
You want to take the first one?
Sure.
All right, you take the first one.
All right, Steven Silip. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Please pray for all those in the path of Superstorm Fern heading east.
Heading east, and Stephen lives up in Pittsburgh. I think is it Pittsburgh? He'll correct me. It's somewhere up in there. I think it's Pittsburgh, but I think it's coming towards you. So, yeah, prayers for you. Kimberly says, great job, Weston, proud of you. Please continue to pray for my daughter, Demi. She is still struggling with her addiction. Praying that she is warm and safe tonight. I'm not giving up hope. I love her so much. Yes, Kim, we are praying for her and for you. And yeah, don't give up. Don't give up hope. We're glad you're tuning in tonight.
Tia, I'm taking care of my mom's things. She passed away in July. We weren't close, but only as a result of good after not seeing her for 4 years. I arrived on her doorstep, and less than 48 hours later, she was gone. I didn't know her cancer was what it was, and I was heartbroken. I'm asking for prayers regarding her things and that I can act with what she would have wanted.
Yeah. Tia, prayers for you on this
prayers.
journey. This is from the Phoenix. My friend's brother had emergency surgery and needs all the strength he can get. Okay, we are praying for your friend's brother, lifting them up tonight. All the strength, all the good vibes, all the good energy, sending his way. Prayers for him. And glad you're tuning in. Thank you, Austin, for being up here with me, dude. It's good to have you here. All right, y'all. Hey, if you've been impacted by this mission here of breaking the silence of addiction and creating space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection, well, you should know we rely on the generosity of, well, you people, even you online people. I know some of y'all have never stepped foot in this community, but you still call us this your community, your people, and we're really grateful for that. And you give here, and it means a great deal to us here. If you want to donate to Hear It Free, well, there's a couple of simple ways you can do it. You can download the app, Free Recovery Community. All of our messages are on there, guest storytellers are on there, content, and there's a giving button you can give there. Or do the same thing on the website, freerecoverycommunity.com. You can give one time, or you can set it up to be recurring, to do monthly or weekly, however you want to do it. We're grateful for all of it. It makes a big difference here in the giving kiosk just outside these doors for in-house people. And don't forget about the Kind kiosk. The Kind kiosk is just out this set of doors, and it's the one-tap system. It's an easy, simple, safe way to give, and truly it makes a big difference here. So thank you for being a part of it. Shall we go out with a prayer? Yeah, let's do it. I would encourage you to just open up the hands. Yeah, dig into some of that breath work Weston was talking about. Just some big, deep breaths. And if you're wondering if it's worth it to keep going in life and recovery, on the spiritual journey, with all the questions, all the doubts, all the unknowns, yeah, just keep going. Cinco Minutos Más. And if you don't know the set-aside prayer, well, it's on your screen. And we'll pray it together. It goes like this. God, today help me set aside everything I think I know about you, everything I think I know about myself, everything I think I know about others, and everything I think I know about my own recovery, so that I may have an open mind and a new experience with all these things. Please help me see the truth. Amen, and grace and peace to you all, and we will see you next time.